Centicore MBA Festival in London. As you know, in addition to all these conversations with deans, program directors and admissions, we're also taking this opportunity in London to meet with some of the alumni of the top schools. And I'm delighted to be with Ryan Thomas, who is a robotics engineer at Amazon. Ryan, thank you very much for being with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Now, you graduated from HEC 4 years ago, and obviously building a very exciting career. What is not on that LinkedIn resume of yours? Some fun fact that you wondered whether you should have shared with the HEC admissions office?
I was pretty open with them, actually. So I'm from Calgary, Alberta, which is a strong ranching background in Western Canada. I used to work oil and gas, and I actually spent some time with an old boss of mine who was a team roper. It's like a rodeo cowboy, trying to learn how to ride a horse and swing a lasso at the same time. It's terrifying. It's absolutely impossible, and I'm glad I don't have to do it here in the UK. So.
Right, it's like sort of patting your head and rubbing your stomach, or whichever one, but you're doing all of that on a horse,
riding
right?
an angry Ferrari, yeah, it's not for me career-wise. But
many of the attendees of these events are thinking about, well, you know, how do I share my professional background, academics, and so on. What were you most proud of in terms of an accomplishment before going to business school?
Yeah, I mean, my background was pretty diverse. I actually started in arthritis research. I was doing biomechanics research as an engineer, and so I worked with a really good team of engineers, orthopedic surgeons. We actually developed a robotic system to reproduce joint motion of a knee. So we were looking at the impact of injury on the mechanics of the knee, osteoarthritis. So that was the first system in the world that we developed. It was pretty cool. Yeah,
wow.
It was a nerdy engineering thing, but yeah, it was fun.
And as you reflect on that, we often think about bankers and software engineers and consultants applying to school. Mm-hmm. Did you find that sort of eclectic mix? Obviously, you brought that with your background.
Yeah, I mean, that's what really stood out to me about HEC. Diversity, and not just, you know, diversity by the numbers in terms of countries or backgrounds or gender, but diversity of thought. I mean, and that's, I think, also part of the French approach, but you know, I've had arguments and debates on every subject around with people. I've taken sides I never thought I would, you know, and there was just this wide diversity of ideas, of backgrounds, of subjects, always in good taste, and yeah, it was pretty interesting.
That schools somewhere along the way pick up these stereotypes of, you know, what is their DNA. As you think about those MBA classmates that you shared 16 very intense months with, were there any sort of common traits or a value system that you sort of say, yeah, that really defined people? You know,
what struck me about HEC is I felt like, and I still feel like, every single person in my class could have taught me a class. So, you know, not only are you interacting with the profs and their background and their, you know, crazy experience and stories, but, you know, after class or during class, you're with people who are, you know, we had a history professor from Ireland, we had a, you know, French military officer, you know, and they've got experience that I would never have gotten exposure to in my past career, you know, and we're having these conversations, and it was just that deep background of everyone in the program that was really, really interesting, really cool to learn from.
Now, of course, the articulation of a knee, but do you think that you then developed a skill in the MBA program, and how has that since served you in your career?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, my dad's an engineer with an MBA as well, and he always said, you know, the MBA is a finishing school for engineers. So in that respect, it worked for me. You know, learned almost like learning a new language in a lot of respects. You know, one thing specifically that was really cool was the HEC MBA has an event at St. Cyr, which is a military academy where we do a leadership training course, and so you have to lead your team through a task, and mine was trying to get everyone across this giant steel rod over a big pool of water you could fall into. You know, and I remember trying to get really involved, in the French officer saying, no, you're the leader, you need to step back and let your team do it. And I actually thought about that at work last week, you know, just no, like, I'm managing this, I need to be out of that. So I mean, there's specific lessons like that I can think of, you know, week to week, and then just the overall language of business that was really great for me coming from a technical background.
And this was a weekend out in the French countryside over a muddy river.
It was on a stark cliff over the ocean. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Do you think that applicants to business school get enough sense? I mean, you would talk about discounted cash flow, or, you know, a marketing course that you might learn. That mix, there are soft skills that you're developing in events like St. Cyr with the more sort of hard skills and business. How does that mix work?
Yeah, definitely, and I think a big part of that is as an MBA student, you have to drive it, right? You have to take that opportunity. You have to, you know, and the program will help you do this. It'll help you identify what you're good at, where you need to develop. And the resources are all there, right? You can do that. You can get into the accounting, which I wasn't great at. Marketing. You can get into leadership. You can get into all this stuff. The resources are all there. The people are incredible. The classmates are incredible. It's just figuring out where you need to develop and getting after it.
Right. Of course, we're meeting people at today's event at Centre Court that are looking at the investment of going to business school. It's time. It's money.
Yep.
Was there a moment during the program you're like, this is why I'm putting myself through all of this? There's an aha moment of when it suddenly made sense to you.
I mean, I think just having that chance to look at everything, that chance to have another look at your career. I came in pretty focused on what I wanted to do, and everything changed. So there was a moment when I kind of thought, okay, I've got the tools now I need, right? I don't need to make some 10-year 15-year life plan. Like, I have the opportunities, I have the resources, I have the support of the school, the support of my classmates to take opportunity as it comes. And sure enough, that's what happened with my career. I went from oil and gas to now tech, and that was a good moment. It was a good moment to have the freedom to do that.
Right. So what comes next as you think about...
I'm 100% certain. I have no idea. And with all due respect to those we had people in the class who went right after their goal and nailed it. For me, it was, this is what I wanted. This was my choice in doing an MBA versus, a technical engineering degree, a graduate degree, is being open to opportunity. So 5 years is a long time for us in 2019. I may be working on a technology then that doesn't exist now. But I feel like I have the tools and I have the background to take that opportunity as it comes. So I have no idea. Pretty sure it's going to be fun. Pretty sure I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing, and that's what I came here to do.
Anything that you miss from time at school?
People for sure. But I have a coping mechanism, which is staying in touch. Like, I got, if I open my phone right now, I got a friend from HEC who wants to go for brunch tomorrow. Spent New Year's with some friends in Geneva, going skiing in March, went to a wedding before Christmas in Delhi. If you ever get a chance to go to a Punjabi wedding, do it. It's amazing. So yeah, I miss the people, but I've also built these relationships for life with these great people. So
it's a fantastic network, and thank you for contributing to that network by being with HEC Paris at today's event.
It's my pleasure. Yeah, and I've been right in everyone's shoes here. I know how it is, so it's great to be back and help out.
Great. Well, Ryan, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.